And welcome back to the channel, guys, with myself, Million Man Incorporated. And today I'm going to go through with you the strategy I actually use to help myself save $50,000 in 1 year. Now, as always, guys, remember I'm not a financial professional or advisor, and if you need specific personal financial advice, you will need to seek a financial professional or advisor to help you with your personal needs. And as always, guys, remember as well, if you find value from the content I'm producing, hit the subscribe button, drop me a comment, give me a like, and that will really help me with the channel and also to help produce more content for you guys. So let's get into it. Now, $50,000 in 1 year is a significant amount of money to save. And if you were like me many years ago, trying to save any kind of money for your financial future or for your financial success and wealth can be a little bit difficult in the initial stages. I actually had a lot of difficulty trying myself when I first started out. I found it difficult to actually stick to a budget, stick to a plan and save. I found that as soon as I had some kind of savings, I tended to kind of go out and spend that money quite happily. I'd save for like 2-3 months at a time. Then all of a sudden someone's birthday came up, spend a bit of money. Following weekend, same thing. And just got into a kind of repetitive cycle of those bad habits. So I'm going to show you how automation and sticking to a strict budget actually helped me in my financial journey into becoming financially wealthy and successful. So the reason why I was trying to actually save a significant sum of money, say to the tune of $50,000 or more, as quickly as possible, is because I was trying to save for a deposit for a house or to put some money into the stock market here in Australia as well. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the requirements for property here in Australia, but most financial institutions require you to have at least a 20% deposit on the property. And in the city I live, the median house price is just below $500,000. So 20% of that is roughly $100,000. So the faster I could actually save that money meant the faster I could actually get myself into an investment property where I could actually help increase my wealth and financial freedom. So I'm going to go through with you now what I did exactly to get myself to that position of having $50,000 in my bank account within 1 year. Now, if you watched my video a couple sessions ago on my 7 steps to financial freedom in 2021, I actually outlined to you how important it is to have a strict budget. Now, budgeting is a very crucial, critical step in actually any kind of financial success and also money management. So if you haven't already watched it, I'll drop the link below in the About section and you can go watch that anytime you want. So for me, I had to create a strict budget which I could stick to and stick to easily. This meant I could actually see where my money was going every week. I was able to stick to it quite easily, and I was also putting money into my own account for saving for that house deposit. So I was very meticulous with this. I actually recorded every cent I was actually spending on anything and everything. So with that budget, I could actually see where I was wasting more of my money. So expenses like ATM fees, parking fees, parking tickets, just bits and pieces like that, I could actually see where I could actually make some further cuts and reductions. Here in Australia, if you use a bank which isn't affiliated with your bank to withdraw money, you get charged a fee, and it's roughly around $2.40 and things like that. But if you're doing it quite regularly, those small transactions of $2.40 here, $2.40 there, a couple of those over the weekend, they do add up, and over the entire year, there can be a reasonable amount of money. So cutting back on unnecessary expenses or fees like that meant that I could actually save more money to put to use for myself. So being mindful of just things where you can kind of make slight tweaks to your expenses will make a big impact on how much you can save through the year. From there, I also got rid of all my debt. Now I did the video just recently on how I actually paid off $25,000 of debt in 6 months. I'll drop the link to that one there below as well. But having those extra funds which weren't used to pay off debts for credit cards and car repayments and things like that also meant that I could actually boost my savings through the year when I was trying to save that $50,000. So just getting rid of those unnecessary expenses will make a massive impact. Now, as I said at the start, automation played a massive role in all of this. And I literally automated all my expenses across the board as well as easily as I could. So rent, electricity, savings, registrations, things like that, I actually automated. What I did in the initial stages of creating my budget is I found out how much each and every subscription or haircuts, little expenses here and there cost me per week, and that way I could actually either leave money in my account for those payments, or I could actually automate the payments immediately. And by automating all those repayments or making those payments automatically, I was reducing the amount of time I actually had to spend on my bank account making the payments weekly or however regularly I had to do it. And it meant that I didn't have to stress about it either, and it kind of adjusted my budget for me a little bit as well. So I knew exactly how much money I had each week to save and to spend on myself if I wanted to. As well as that, having a secondary bank account not linked to that primary bank account where your money comes into makes it easier to kind of put money aside for bills and registrations and things like that, which come out once every 6 months to a year kind of thing. So that way you always had that money readily available for those expenses. And if you were kind of out by a few dollars, it wouldn't impact your weekly budget too heavily. So that was a really important thing which I did as well, setting up that secondary account. And having it linked to or having it outside of your primary financial institution also prohibits you from spending that money or transferring that money back if you need to use it. By having it outside of that primary institution, it usually takes about 24 hours for funds to clear if you transfer them back. So it meant that if I was out and having a bit of a good time, I couldn't go, oh crap, spend all my money, transfer it over, spend away. No, I had to wait a whole 24 hours, and on weekends slightly even longer. Now in the initial stages of having this budget and automation system set up, you might need to tweak it a little bit to see exactly how much money you need to leave in your account for just discretionary spending on groceries and things like that, or how much money you might need on the average week to go out and kind of enjoy yourself, maybe for like a coffee or a date, or just go to the movies and things like that. But like I said, that takes a little bit of tweaking and sometimes a couple of weeks to kind of iron out any creases. So don't stress in the initial stages if it's not going according to plan. It might also mean that you have been a little bit too strict with your savings plan. You haven't accounted for all your expenses in your budget, or you might not be as good at financial management as what you initially thought, which means that you might need to be a bit more disciplined and stick to it a bit more easily. Like I said, it's takes a bit of tweaking from time to time until you can get it perfectly right for yourself. In that first video I did as well about 7 steps to financial freedom in 2021, I also outlined how important it was to pay yourself first. And if you can actually automate that payment or some kind of payment for yourself of say 10% or whatever it is in your income, you can actually, it makes it the process a whole lot easier, and also again having it in that secondary bank account. Other things you can actually do to kind of control your spending habits a little bit more is, what I've seen is people actually take out what they allow themselves per week to spend on going out and entertainment and things like that. So they might take out, let's say $100 a week kind of thing in cash, transfer the rest of the money across into the other account, and then once they actually spend that money, that $100 cash, that's it for their outings for that week. They just stay home and keep reading or researching and trying to stick to their budget. So as always guys, hope that information has helped you. If it did, drop a like, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next video.